Hello and welcome to my channel. I've been getting a lot of questions lately on why I actually chose to buy an EV for my next vehicle. Right, so we are actually considering a C segment SUV. So the three candidates that we foresee that we could buy was the BYD Atto 3, the Toyota Cross Hybrid, and the Proton X90. So the major reason why I chose the BYD Atto 3 over the other two vehicles is basically the cost of ownership. Right, so let me explain. I'm using the SEB tariff because I'm in Sarawak. So the maximum charge for the tariff is actually 31.25 cents per kilowatt hour. RON 95 is now 2 ringgit 5 cents. So if I take out a loan and I have 10% down payment, 3% interest rate over 9 years, this is basically what I'm paying as a monthly installment for my car for the next 9 years. And we will calculate the cost of operation, cost of ownership, including the loan as well. On fuel efficiency for the hybrid and X90, these are on the website. They claim to have 6.73 liters per 100 km, and for the Proton X90 is 6.8 liters per 100 km. But we want to compare apples with apples. So for the EV, for my BYD Atto 3, I average about 15 kilowatt hour per 100 km. And if you do the conversion, it's actually 1 liter of petrol is 8.9 kilowatt hours. So that's roughly 659.9 kilowatt hours per 100 km for the cross hybrid, and for the X90 is 60.5 kilowatt hours per 100 km. So this, if you're comparing apple to apple, obviously the EV is much more efficient. Now we're comparing cost per kilometer. So the cost per kilometer for my BYD Atto 3 is 5 cents based on this SEB tariff. So it's basically we take 15 multiplied by 0.3125 and divide by 100, we get about 5 cents. For the cost per km for the hybrid and X90 is basically taking the amount of liter that's needed, multiplied by the cost per liter and divided by 100 km. So that's how we come up with this cost. Now on top of that, there's actually a maintenance cost to it. So the maintenance cost is basically I get it from the PDF file as well as some Facebook links for the X90. So the service costs here I got from there, they are all listed down here. So the various servicing costs that's involved for the hybrid and the X90. But for the Atto 3, it's an EV basically. There is no service needed except for the first one, which you need to go in for checkup. That's it. And after that, there is no service. Although you can actually sign up for additional service, which is listed here. So these are the additional service which you could sign up for if you want to keep the car serviced by BYD technician. But this is actually not necessary because it's basically replacement of coolant, brake fluid, wiper blades. All this you could just get aftermarket and install them. It doesn't need to cost this much. This is just way too much just for those replacement. So owning an EV, you do not need all those mechanical part change. So all this service cost is basically optional. So bear in mind that that's where we save the most, is why it is so cost effective to go with an EV. Right, so from this we can calculate how much it will cost monthly. So assuming I travel about 100 kilometers a day, so in a month it's about 3,000 kilometers, if I were to charge my car at that rate, which is 3,000 kilometers multiplied by the cost of running per kilometers, my average monthly cost for charging my car will be 140 ringgit and 63 cents. Whereas if I were to refuel my car for that 3,000 kilometers is 413.90 cents for the cross hybrid, and for the Proton X90 it is 418 ringgit and 20 cents. Now for the most part of Sarawak at the current moment, we are having free charging at all the various public charging for your EVs, and your hybrid EVs, obviously for those with plug-in hybrids. All the charging facility is now zero cost. It's basically free. So assuming that this free charging is ongoing for the next 2 years, my monthly cost for the next 2 years would be just my loan installment. Right, so if you want to view the comparison, you will see that owning the BYD, which is the blue line here, is basically just a straight line because you're just paying your monthly installment. Whereas if I have free charging for the first 2 years, this would be my free charging, and then after that I would have to pay. So that's basically it. But for the hybrid, the cross hybrid, the Toyota cross hybrid, it is slightly more expensive to operate on certain months, but when there is a servicing month, you can see all this spike that comes up. So this is the cost of service, right? So this is the cost of, is similar for the Proton X90, and this is also a cost of refueling the car for it to operate. And all this, we are assuming that the petrol price remain at 2 ringgit and 5 cents for the next 9 years. If there is the targeted subsidy that's gonna come pretty soon, I would assume that those people that do not qualify for subsidy, this price would not be 2 ringgit and 5 cents. This could easily be 3 ringgit and 25 cents. So if the cost is 3 ringgit 25 cents, then you would see a huge increase for the monthly cost of ownership. Basically the entire chart for the cross hybrid and the Proton X90 would jump up, right? So it is actually not worth it to own those two vehicles, although in terms of initial value they are actually much cheaper compared to the BYD Atto 3 extended range, but monthly cost of ownership of those vehicles are actually much more higher. And of course I don't foresee the SCB tariff to go up. So this has been the tariff for the past 30 years in Sarawak, so this tariff is not likely to change. It is going to be the same for as long as we get free energy from renewables. So this actually could go down lower because we have a lot of renewable energy in Sarawak. The tariff could go lower, but I don't foresee it going lower because there's no point for them to go lower since they've been charging this same amount of tariff all this while. Yeah, so that's basically one of the reasons why I myself went into an EV, because it is more cost effective to own an EV compared to any ICE vehicle, even hybrid vehicles. So I'm comparing two hybrid vehicles here. So these two hybrid vehicles, they run very efficiently at 6.7 liters per 100 km already. You have, even if you will go full ICE vehicle, this can easily jump to 14 to 20 liters per 100 kilometers. So it is definitely not worth it to stay on an ICE vehicle. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more EV adventures in Sarawak.